Settle the mainsail. Prepare to board. They're on the deck! Push them back! Hold the line!
History does not always announce its endings with thunder. Sometimes it ends quietly, in the stillness of a palace chamber, where a crown lies useless beside a dying queen. Rome believed itself chosen by fate. Its legions marched with discipline unmatched by the ancient world. Its banners rose wherever resistance fell. But even Rome, with all its power, could not swallow every dream, for one kingdom remained beyond its full control: Egypt. A land older than Rome's memory, where temples had stood for thousands of years before Roman stone ever touched the earth. Egypt was not merely a province to be conquered. It was a symbol of wealth, mystery, and divine rule. And upon its throne sat Cleopatra, the last queen of the Ptolemaic dynasty, a woman determined not to be remembered as Rome's possession. Cleopatra was not powerful because of beauty alone. She was educated, multilingual, and politically sharp. She understood people, ambition, and the invisible forces that move empires. She knew that Rome respected strength, feared intelligence, and underestimated women. And she used every one of those truths to her advantage. Then came Mark Antony, a man forged by war, driven by hunger for glory, and admired for his strength as much as he was feared for his excesses. He was a general of Rome, loud, fearless, and restless. He was the kind of man who believed the world existed to be conquered. Yet when he met Cleopatra, he discovered something he could not conquer. It was not her beauty that disarmed him. It was her presence. She arrived not as a subject, but as a living myth. Her ship cut through the waters like a prophecy. Incense filled the air. Music echoed across the shore. Gold shimmered beneath the sun. Cleopatra did not enter the room. She entered the world, and the world shifted. Antony expected a meeting. What he received was a collision. Two forces, both too powerful to yield, crashing into each other. And in that moment, the history of empires became the story of a love that refused to be ignored. Their love did not start softly. It erupted. It consumed. It became a force that pulled them into each other's orbit with the force of gravity. He abandoned the discipline of his life as a soldier and surrendered to the lavish world Cleopatra offered. Feasts replaced councils. Wine replaced strategy. Cleopatra did not simply love him. She claimed him, not as a possession, but as a partner. And Antony, the conqueror of nations, became a man who loved like a poet. He spoke of her as if she were the sun impossible to ignore, impossible to resist. He spoke of her as if she were destiny. They were not just lovers. They were two hearts daring to rewrite the rules of the world. But love, when mixed with power, becomes dangerous. Rome watched as Antony's devotion grew. It saw him choosing Egypt over Rome. It saw him losing himself in Cleopatra's world. And Rome did what it always did to things it feared. It turned them into a story. Cleopatra became a symbol of temptation, a seductress, a threat, a woman who had stolen Rome's strongest man. And Rome believed the story it wanted to believe. They believed that love was weakness. They believed that love could not shape destiny. They believed that love was a luxury a soldier could not afford. But Antony was not weak. He was simply human. War became inevitable. The Battle of Actium was not only a clash of fleets, it was a clash of loyalties, a battle between duty and desire. Ships burned, men drowned. The sea swallowed dreams of empire. When Cleopatra withdrew, Antony followed not as a general defending Rome, but as a man following the only thing that made him feel alive. In defeat, their love became even more intense. It was no longer a romance, it was a refuge, a final sanctuary against a world that refused to understand them. When Antony believed Cleopatra dead, he fell upon his own sword, not because he was defeated, but because he could not live in a world where she did not exist. He died in her arms, his last breath carried by love, not power. Cleopatra held him and felt the world collapse around her. In that moment, her love was not a choice, it was her fate. She understood what awaited her: humiliation in Rome, paraded as proof of conquest, her legacy rewritten by her enemies. That was a future she refused to accept. She had ruled as a queen. She would die as a queen. And so she chose death over submission, not as an escape, but as a statement, a final act of love. With her passing, Egypt fell into Roman hands, not through battle, but through inevitability. Octavian rose as Augustus, the first emperor of Rome. A new age began. And yet, something ancient ended forever. The line of the pharaohs was broken. Egypt became a province.